Hello there, world of tankers. Welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the Tier 9 Blitz Nation Collector Medium, the FVE Defender. This is one of the weirdest tanks in the game, as it features an autocannon. When you press the fire button, it shoots 10 shells immediately. Well, in a second of total time. And those 10 shells are going to deal 500 damage in total. The problem with this tank is that while it does have a lot of damage output, it is also heavily balanced by the fact that it features terrible accuracy on the shots. Like, its actual base dispersion is pretty good, and its on-movement dispersion, after-shot dispersion, like, all the values on paper are good. If this was a single shot with 500 damage per shot, it would be great. But the problem is that it's a burst gun. And the issue is that you have to pen every single one of your shells if you want to deal the maximum damage. And that's where we arrive to issues with this tank, because the chance of you hitting every single shot is pretty slim to none. That's really the best way to describe it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by crossing over towards the heavy flank. Normally I don't do this, but because we don't really have anybody going to the medium side, and because this tank plays more like a heavy than it does a medium, yeah, I might as well go over towards this side of the map. See, this tank is very slow. It features pretty good armor hull down, and because of that, as I mentioned, you're going to be a lot better off fighting the heavies than you are medium tanks. So we are going to push all the way up top here. Our team is already quite heavily bled out this Tornvon. I don't know why he keeps trying to shoot people in the crossing. Truly a genius of our times. Bro threw all of his health away for that. I'm not seeing much, though, over here. I'm not seeing anything over this way, and I'm sure that they do have, you know, some nasty tank destroyers, but... Oh, okay, well, we have the AMX-30 over there. Not really able to do much to that. I'm going to move over towards the Tornvon, and we'll see if I can get some damage into him. He is going to do whatever he's going to do, and... Well, there you go. You can see 500 damage, but I only end up dealing 350. And that's definitely been my major problem with the vehicle. It should have had more damage, in my opinion. It should have been sitting closer to, like, 750 clipping, but... There you go. We got a clip out. Nice. Sweet. That's actually a lot of damage, because we also lit them on fire, so I'm not going to complain at all. I would love to be able to hit this 2 and 5, or the Kron, but my 2 and 5B is getting in my way. Yeah, unfortunate. Alright, well, we have the Jagdpanzer, and... I'm going to move as quickly as I can. We have our speed boost activated, so let's keep going, let's keep going. Let's see if we can get to this Jag. As you can see, even with speed boost, this tank is not very quick. If you compare the mobility of this vehicle to really any other, you know, medium, it's pretty slow. And, like, to be fair, as I mentioned, it does have armor. So you have that advantage of having decent armor, but, well, I don't want to be hit by that Jag. No, thank you. I'm going to back up. And we'll see what I can do. Is our team going to drive up the hill? Looks like they are. And I'm just going to chill here. Let's see. The Jagdpanzer's aiming in on that player. Oh, great. Well, there goes all of my health. Yay. I love that. Might as well get some damage into the Jag. But that was literally all of our health stripped away in 1 second right there. That's so annoying. Alright, well, there's nothing I can really do about that Patton camping in the back. The Jag is dead, though, so that's nice. Let's see. Is E3 going to shoot? Hopefully he does. Okay, E3 does fire, which means I can drive over here and get about 300 damage out. Like, the one thing I will say is that this tank is very good at obviously killing low health targets, because if you're shooting at a tank that has like 100 health, you're basically guaranteed that you're going to hit the shots. It's just unfortunate that, you know, the gun is so mid in the regard of everything else. So we're going to see if I can get some damage into the enemy Type 71. Here we go. And nice. There's 498 damage. It's actually not bad. Type gets the shell into our teammate. And now I'm going to start flanking behind. We have the enemy M48 and the E3 still pretty healthy, which is quite good for me. So we're going to see if we can get behind them and bleed them out a bit. Let's see. E3 is currently not facing me. And because of that, I'm going to get directly behind him and... 490. It's not a bad little chunker into the rear of his vehicle. Reloading again. We'll see if I can get some more damage out. Atlas gets some damage into the E3, and pens his second little dumper. And there you go. Nice 49 damage into that player. And all that leaves us with is the enemy M48. Well, we did 3,360 damage, which is actually pretty good, I gotta say. I'm a little surprised I was able to deal that much, but let's get to the side of the Patton. Hello. There you go. So, you can definitely see where this tank is good and where it's kind of not so good. But in terms of damage, this is actually one of my lowest average damage tier 9s. And it's really simple when you think about it. As I said, you have 500 damage, but most of the time, you're only dealing like 300 to 350. A lot of the clips we fired, as you saw, we only did like 350 damage. The Tornvon, we did 354. We took, I think it was 300 off the T110E3 in that one burst. And like, yeah, there were certain moments when we were also able to deal more. We got the side of that AMX, penned all of our shots, lit them on fire. And this thing does do pretty good module damage because you have the 10 shells. But the thing is that most of the time you're driving this vehicle, you're really only dealing about 350 damage, which means that your effective DPM goes from a pretty low 2200 to like, I don't know, like 1800. It's pretty bad. And then when you add that with the fact that this tank has the worst standard pen for a tier 9, it's not a great combination. This thing only has 230 millimeters of premium AP, or standard AP, and that's with Cali. Next update, Calibrated Shells is getting nerfed for AP. This tank's going to have 220-ish mils of AP pen next update. That's similar to tier 8 mediums. Why does a tier 9 medium have such bad standard pen? I really don't know. The premium pen's fine. It's 320 with gold, which is more than enough to cut through most tanks, but like seriously, that is actually garbage levels of standard penetration. I don't know why Wargaming decided that. Either way, here we are, second game. Up against us, we have a Pershing and an STA-1. And we have a Lanson, a G-Sor. Okay, well, I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know if my team's going to necessarily support me or they're going to go over towards the other side of the map. But thankfully, those aren't the most dangerous vehicles. Yeah, that was truly amazing RNG right there. 10 shells, not a single one hit the side of a T95. That's pretty sad. All right, well, let's aim it on the T95 again. And let's see. I literally can't pen him anywhere. I don't know what else to really do. I'm going to try and bait a shell from him. Come on. Oh, wait a sec. We have the STA over here. And not bad. 460 damage into that player. Like, as you can see, when you do get the clip out, it is pretty nice. And being able to outtrade a lot of vehicles does feel really good. What doesn't feel good is everything unfolding around us. I'm going to put on speed boost, and I'm going to start backing out of here. The last thing I want to deal with is all of these tanks. Not sure what that Jagdpanther is doing, but not sure what my gun's doing either, so can't really say much about either. Jagdpanther misses me, and we get a bounce there. Nice. Let's reload again. Let's see. We have the Bisante. We have the Jagdpanther. Not really sure why you would poke me, but interesting decision. Again, though, you can see only 350-ish damage. We literally got out-traded by that Jagdpanther, too, and he's stock. Like, it's pretty sad in that regard. We have the enemy Pershing over here. Is the T95 going to move up? That is an entirely different question. And for now, I'm just going to sit here and wait. Let's aim it on the 95. Wow, 40 damage, bro. And then he just hits me right in the roof. Okay. I say it all the time. I wish I had the luck some of these players have. I really do. I don't know how they hit these shots. Like, that's crazy that he hits that shot on the roof. And the Jagdpanther hit that shot just a moment before. It is pretty wild. There you go. Once again, only 300 damage into the T95. I mean, you can constantly see the gun on this vehicle struggling to deal damage. And, by the way, this is just a tier 8 battle. This isn't even, you know, higher tier tanks. Like, we should not be struggling this much to deal damage. But you can see why I generally don't consider this to be a very good tank. So we're going to turn around, and we're going to see if I can help out with the Kyler over here, because we do have his entire rear. So let's aim it on his side, and there you go. It's not bad. 547 damage into that player. He's going to die because he has a bunch of vehicles behind him. So we're going to start aiming more towards the enemy T95. So let's do that right now, and I'm hoping that I can go through the track wheel. There you go. If you know the weak point of the T95, you can quite easily deal with it. And we were able to do that right there. Alright, well, I don't think we're going to deal any more damage in this game because the 95, yeah, is going to get shot by the Lanson. But I guess we did okay at 2,600 damage. But I think this game was a really good illustration. Again, like, this tank just isn't that good. The gun is not good. It just isn't. And the armor is okay, I guess. Like, it's decent armor, but you have some big weak points. The roof of the vehicle has very weak armor. So, in general, a lot of people see this tank and they're like, oh my god, this is the most fun tank in the game. And it is fun, but if you're expecting this thing to be really strong because it looks strong, that's not the case. It's genuinely not a very good vehicle. Why drive this tank, which deals 500 damage if you pen every shot, when you can drive like an Eric Concept and fire 1 out of your 2 shells and deal the same 500 damage? So, I don't know. And this tank has more base DPM. Like, it's definitely something you have to ask yourself. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to smash that subscribe button. And apart from that, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.